I want the relationship 4, 5, 6 times a day. His rod is very small. I have been married 4 years. And unfortunately, he only wants it once. Because he can't last a minute. Before he finishes, meaning the liquid, comes out of him too fast. You understand, of course. So I started looking for a big rod. Because I really love this stuff. I am crazy about the relationship. That's why I wanted a bigger rod than what I was seeing. And it's true because big ones are what satisfy, and they are what truly help and please. Anyway, as soon as my husband left for work, I would stay home tearing myself apart. So I thought and said, when my husband leaves, I'll go out and look for a big rod. Because I really need that big rod so much. Honestly, I'm not living my life, and it is my right to live my life. If you have a problem, you should have treated yourself for it. I was quiet, but I finally had enough. And truly, when my husband left for work, I got dressed up and put on my best clothes. I wore my black abaya. Then I went out to a cafe in a public place. And turn the case, I looked around, hoping to find a man with a big one. Unfortunately, even at the place I went and the cafe, I didn't find anyone I liked. Fine. I wanted something specific, something to solve it, and something I could feel. On my way back, there was the building doorman. He said, "Madam, do you want anything? Do you need anything?" I said, "Yes, the bathroom faucet is broken, and I want a plumber to come fix it before my husband gets back." He said, "I have to see it so I can get the part for this faucet." I said, "No problem, come on in." Then he came up with me. I opened the apartment with my key, of course, because I have the key. I said, "Come see what it is." Anyway, the doorman entered and went into the bathroom. I said, "Come see the faucet." I opened the bathroom for him and he entered. He said, "It really needs a plumber because it's leaking." He said, "It really is leaking." The strange thing is, when the faucet in the bathroom is leaking, I mean, if you stand in front of it, it will spray you and get your clothes wet. Anyway, he went in to check it. He said to me, "Do you have a wrench?" I said, "Yes, I have a wrench." And I gave him that adjustable wrench. Anyway, he kept turning it right, left, right, right. He said to me, "Maybe the problem doesn't need a plumber. I have some background in this, yeah?" I said, "That's fine. Go ahead and fix it." Anyway, he kept turning the wrench right, left, right for half an hour. Anyway, I prepared a strong cup of tea for him. I went and took it to him in the hallway. I said, "After you come out to drink this cup of tea." He said, "Don't trouble yourself, madam. There's no rush." He said, "I'm almost finished." I said, "No, it's the least I can do since you're helping me. Drink the tea after you're done." He said, "All right." Anyway, I kept sitting in the kitchen, preparing food, minding my own business. Suddenly, I heard the doorman's voice saying, "I'm finished, ma'am." I said to him, "Fine, drink your tea there in the living room." Anyway, I wondered why he didn't drink the tea. Of course, I was in the kitchen at that time. I was finishing cutting potatoes, and then I would go out. Anyway, I sat for a while in the kitchen and finished cutting the potatoes. It was just 7 minutes. Then I went out to the living room. I found the doorman standing in front of the bathroom door. He hadn't even touched the tea. "Why didn't you drink the tea?" He said, "Don't you see I'm soaked?" I said to him, "What happened to you?" I went and looked at him closely, because I hadn't noticed at first. I found him lifting. He was wearing a galabea. I found him lifting his galabea and his underwear was visible. Of course, because the faucet was leaking in the water. Water itself got on him. You all know that fixing a faucet gets messy with water and so on. Anyway, I found that he was completely soaked with water. Anyway, of course, he lifted his galabea to dry it and so on. And suddenly, a large, wide, and very prominent pillar appeared from his underwear. Honestly, I was surprised. I said, "Is this possible? Is it possible that what I've been looking for is found with the doorman?" Is possible this is what I want? This is what I've been wishing for and dreaming of for many long years. Is it possible that all this charm, sweetness, and beauty is right here, next to the building I live in, and I didn't know anything about it too? Honestly, I was very surprised. Honestly, I was very choked up. How did I not know about him for such a long time? Is he sitting right below me or what? And here I am going to public places and such. Anyway, I was very happy. I said to him, wait, just wait. He said, okay, I'll go dry my clothes outside the house, outside the apartment. I said, no, I'll dry it for you here, just wait. He said, no, that won't work, it's not right. I don't want to trouble you. I said to him, no trouble, I'll dry it for you. Anyway, I told him, take off the galabia. He said, how? No, that won't work, and I don't know what. Take off the galabia. Listen to me before I cause a problem for you. I'll say you did things that weren't appropriate. And indeed, he took it off and listened. And honestly, I began to get closer to see this big dream up close. While I was close to him. At the moment, I was helping him with it. I was helping him. And I started touching it. Honestly, the things he had were standing fully erect. Everything was standing. Honestly, I was dazzled by the sight I saw in front of me. Is it possible this big size has been next to me and I didn't know anything about it for years? Because this doorman has been working with us for 5-7 years. I have always seen him since I got married and came to live with my husband and in the same building we live in now, right? But I didn't know he had such big things until this situation happened. If it weren't for this situation, I wouldn't have known that this doorman had such big hidden things. And they really appeared. And they appeared just in time, because I needed them badly, and I wanted them. I said, there's some water here. I'll dry it off for you on the thing. He said, I told him, just wait. I went to the place where it was, that big thing, and I started putting my hands on it, acting like I was wiping up water, and I made it bigger. Honestly, I meant something else. I kept, feeling it and holding on to it, and to be honest, it was big and hard. Anyway, I started telling him, by the way, I have a problem in the bedroom. The wardrobe is broken and I want you to fix it for me. There's a door that doesn't close. I really wanted him to come inside. And after that, I was going to do the unthinkable. And really, as soon as he entered the bedroom, I can't even tell you what happened next or next. If you want to know what happened, wait for me in part 2. Goodbye.